I would like to take the time to honor the traditional territories of where we live and meet today. East Village is located on Treaty 7, the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprised of the Siksika, Kainai, and Bikani First Nations, and Tsuut'ina and First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda, including Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wellesley First Nations. The City of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. Thank you for joining us in person. We are recording this meeting and we'll share the video on our website in the upcoming weeks. Just a couple of housekeeping items to begin with. Our preference is for you to have your mask on, but if you have coffee and sweets, that's obviously not going to work. So we are sitting up at the head table without our masks, and as long as you remain in your seats and when you leave your seat to move about the room, you put on your mask, we would be comfortable with you not having your masks on. So that's a personal decision of yours, but again, emphasize that if you get up and move about, we really do require you to have your masks on. I hope you've had an opportunity to actually see the refreshments at the back of the room and partake of them. Additionally, washrooms, now a bit more housekeeping, are out the doors and to the left once you exit the room. As you entered the room and signed in, there were documents available for you: the agenda, the report to community booklet, 2019 AGM minutes, blackline bylaws, and a voting placard. If you have not had a chance to grab them, please raise your hand and we can provide them to you. I'm assuming now that everyone has those items in hand.
Oh, voting.
Sir, what are you missing?
The voting paper.
A voting paper?
Well, may I just, sorry, it's Susan here.
Yeah.
I think what some of the confusion is some of the seniors are a bit confused, like they're here today, which is great, but a lot of people don't understand that you only get the vote card if you've paid your East Village Neighborhood Association membership.
Right.
I think
Right.
That's where the confusion is right now.
Right, so to clarify that, in order to vote at today's meeting, you will have had to have been a member previous to this meeting. So if you have not signed up or paid your membership, that is that means you are not entitled to vote at this meeting. Do you have a membership, sir?
Since he's a member of the unit.
He's expressing that he is the owner of his unit. He has the right to vote.
According to our bylaws, you have to purchase a membership.
You have to be have a purchased membership in order to vote at the East Village Community Association annual general meeting.
They pay now?
Well, you got some company, my friend, and I did the same thing. And I was the first president of this organization.
Sorry, this is not a matter, excuse me, this is not a matter of discussion. We actually have, our bylaws say that you have to have a membership in place before the meeting in order to vote. You're more than welcome to attend and participate that way, but in terms of voting, the bylaws strictly say clearly that you have to have had a membership by the time of the meeting.
But if you don't know that you have to have a membership, how do you have one and who do you buy it from?
You buy it from us and
Who's us?
the Neighborhood Association. We have a website that has information.
Or you,
And whose computer am I going to use?
and or you can contact us directly and one of us will arrange your membership.
Contact you.
I had gotten, you can also, am I correct or am I wrong? You can get one from Korea because that's where I purchased mine for $12.
Right.
For 12?
No, 7. You must have paid 7.
Or 7, I mean. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Assuming everyone now has the proper documents, Moving on, the purpose of this AGM, as prescribed in our bylaws, is the community's reports of the year's activities, including a review of the significant initiatives pursued by the board, the treasurer's report, and unaudited financial statements of the association for the preceding fiscal year, and finally, the election of directors as applicable. In order to ensure that the meeting covers the required business in an efficient manner, we have prearranged with certain members to move the motions of business. We will be asking for a second to come from the floor. This is not intended to discourage any other individuals from making motions or to discourage any comments or questions from the floor. Some of the criteria around holding our meetings under COVID is we should make them as brief and efficient as possible, so we don't hold people indoors for an extended period of time. On the contrary, should any member wish to speak on any matter, please feel free to do so. I invite questions related to actions of the board after we deliver our reports. When speaking, please identify yourself with your full name by stating your name again prior to speaking. Before we begin the formal business of the meeting, I would like to take a moment to introduce the other currently elected directors of the board. I will ask board members to raise their hand to identify themselves as I call out their names. Tom Jensen, Vice President. Jen Machin. Secretary. Allison Hay, Treasurer. Ashley Rode, Marketing and Communications. And not able to join us today are Alan Dupre and Chris Greenwood. They've sent their regrets on not being able to attend. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the board members for all their hard work and dedication over the last 18 months. I ask that when a vote is called, members respond by holding up the voting placards that we just provided. As you are all aware, one of the points of this meeting is to elect a new board of directors in place until the next AGM. At this point, I would like to make a first call for nominations if there are any other members that would like to have their names put forward for election. I will be calling 3 times during the meeting for those who may be interested in standing for a board position. This is the first call, and we will continue on. Do we have any expressed interest in standing for a position on the board? Seeing none at the moment?
Question, please.
Yes.
I think you have to call the meeting to order, so
Oh.
everything's all documented.
Did I miss that? I think I did.
Yeah, come to order. First thing he said. Yep.
Yeah, we called it to order a little previously.
So you need a motion, a second, that kind of stuff, please.
We can do it now. It's
Okay.
fine. According to FCC's, we didn't, but I'm happy to do a motion so everybody
Okay.
knows what's going on. So I motion that we call this meeting to order.
Second that motion.
Thank you.
All in favor? Yeah, okay. Okay. As you are all aware, one of the points of this meeting is to elect a new board of directors in place of, I said that, sorry. With the consent of this meeting, I will ask Jen Machin to act as secretary of the meeting. And with the consent of the meeting, I will ask Terry McKenzie to act as scrutineer for the meeting as well. Proper notice calling this annual general meeting for members was provided by publishing such notice in the community newsletter, our website, social media, emails and posters, and signage throughout East Village. A quorum of members is present. A quorum of members is present at a general meeting if there are at least 5 directors and 12 voting members, other than directors present. The scrutineer has informed me that we do have that in place. We have 22 members here, 5 of whom are directors and leaving 18 remaining voting members, so we do have quorum. I hereby declare this annual general meeting of the East Village Neighborhood Association to be properly convened and constituted to conduct business. I now turn the meeting over to Jen to have the minutes of the past meeting accepted as circulated.
Hi, everyone. As you came in, there are copies of the minutes in the package. I believe we've already checked. You guys have the package, so you all have them. But raise a hand if you don't. We're good? Awesome. I move that the minutes of the 2019 annual general meeting to be approved and accepted into record. Is there someone from the floor who could second for me? Can I get your name?
Alexandria Graham.
Okay. I might catch you up later on the spelling if that's okay. Okay, all those in favor, please signify in the usual manner by raising your beautiful voting card. Awesome. Motion is passed.
Keep them up, please.
Keep them up, please.
We need to establish that there's been a majority of people.
Oh, Terry can't count in a blink of an eye?
We do in fact have a majority. So the motion is carried. At this point, I would now like to make the second call for nominations to the Board of Directors. Anyone who would like to have their name stand and add to the list, please so indicate.
Hello.
Hi, Thea.
Hi. I would like to put my name.
Taya,
Hi, Taya.
Oh,
she's joining us remotely.
remotely, okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Taya.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you.
As the next matter of business, we would like to look back on 2019 and 2020 and provide our reports to the community. Each of us have experienced much over the last 18 months, including many highs and lows. Like many events in 2020, our AGM has been postponed by 6 months. Although we are delighted to finally have this opportunity to update the community, starting with the treasurer, Alison Hay, who I'd like to invite to report.
Morning, everyone. The financial statements and the report consisting of unaudited financial statements are available for examination on pages 10 to 12 of the report to the community that you all hopefully have. EVNA finds itself in good financial position as a not-for-profit society. With continued prudence, we will be set up to support the community, for many years to come. We saw a healthy increase in our portfolio for the 12 months of 2019. Nods, yes. The board has taken the time in 2020 to review our finances, confirmed all filings are completed and up to date. We've reviewed our policies and procedures and have updated our accounting software. Additionally, we have contracted a firm, Evergreen Business Solutions, to maintain our records. I would now like to make a motion for the board to be given authority to appoint an auditor prior to the next general meeting pursuant to Article 7.3. Will someone from the floor second the motion, please?
Thank you,
Shelley.
Susan.
Shelley.
Oh, Shelley.
All those in favor, please signify in the usual manner by raising your lovely voting cards.
We have a majority, and the motion is carried. With
the consent of the meeting, the tabling and reading of the financial statements will be dispensed with. Thank you.
I would now like to ask Tom to make a motion to approve the unaudited financial statements.
My name is Tom Jensen, and I move that the Treasurer's report and the unaudited financial statements of the East Village Neighborhood Association for the year ending December 31st, 2019 be accepted as presented. Will someone from the floor please second? Shelley.
All those in favor?
All those in favor, please signify by the usual manner, and please hold them for a moment.
We have a majority. The motion is carried.
In addition to being the vice president, I also have spent the last few years as the director of planning. So I will give a report on that. In total, EVNA received and responded to 10 development permits in 2019 and 4 so far this year in 2020. The majority of these have been changes of use, outdoor patios and cafes, and signage primarily for the new shopping center. 2019, we saw the opening of The Hat, East Village's first purpose-built rental tower. We also saw new cycling tracks along 4th Street, just out front here, the Bounce Games Park, and M2, the building next to the Simmons building, also opened its doors. 2020, we've seen the opening of 5th and 3rd, EV's new big box shopping center with its anchor tenant, the Real Canadian Superstore, which opened in May, and we look forward to Winners and various other shopping destinations coming to that building soon. Still to come, the Aris Tower is still under construction, but is scheduled for completion this winter. The Platform Parkade and Innovation Center at the end of 3rd Street along 9th Avenue has reached its full height and is now being enclosed and is scheduled to be completed in early 2021. Just recently, Kerry announced the Village Commons, which is going into East Village Place, and the renovations are underway there, scheduled to open in early 2021. And the new Green Line LRT alignment has been finalized, bringing an underground station between 4th and 5th Streets along 11th Avenue in our neighborhood, or our neighboring community of Victoria Park. I'd like to ask Ken again for the discussion of the events committee and achievements over the 2019 and 2020 years.
Thanks very much, Tom.
Is there any way that we can find out what following you in what booklet? This booklet?
That's the report was on page 13.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then the events will be after. I tried to keep it in order as much as I could, so hopefully.
Okay, during 2019, EVNA's events committee planned and hosted 6 summer events. Our spring bicycle clinic was held in pouring rain. Still had a couple people come. Labor Day, it was tea in the square. We served over 175 people in real china and teacups and saucers, and provided sweets and refreshments at the same time as entertainment. Kite Day, our 3rd annual Kite Day. The first day we actually had wind on our Kite Day, so that was a stroke of well planning. 5th Street Square movie night, we ran Shrek 1. And then our second movie night was on the King Eddie rooftop, which was Mrs. Doubtfire. And then our final event was Purge and Splurge, our community garage sale, which we had 20 active people with their items on tables. So, and we supplied lunch for those who had tables. Our EV Street Fair committee planned and successfully ran our 2019 EV Street Fair on Canada Day. We have already engaged an events management consultant to work with us and our events committee to plan, manage, and run our 2021 street fair. Looking forward to that one. Our 2020 events were canceled due to COVID-19, but we maintain a positive outlook for much more community involvement and events in the upcoming year. I now invite Alison Hay to review our garden report.
Actually, I'm going to hand that to our Susan Hooper, who is our garden coordinator. And
Yep.
the mic is working. Thank you, Susan. So Susan will be leading the garden report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
It's not.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me? Perfect. Hi, I'm Susan Hooper. I've been the garden coordinator for East Village for the past 5 years. And to start off with, first off, I would like to say thank you to Stan. Stan is here today with us. And Stan is my volunteer handyman. So when I need little things done like fixing of the garden hose, taking a look at the taps, Stan's there. And most people don't usually see Stan because he's usually out there about 6 o'clock in the morning. So, and then another person that I would like to say a special thank you to is Tina. Tina has been the garden register for the past 5 years, and she's helped me out in many little ways. And as the board, the East Village Neighborhood Association board, is transitioning, Allison is going to be the new garden register coming up for the year 2021. And I'd also like to say, oh, this doesn't look too attractive. And then also, I'd like to say thank you to Tom. And I know there's probably others that have joined him, but thank you to Tom, who has redeveloped and revamped the East Village Neighborhood Association website. And if you go click on the garden page, there's tons of information there about all sorts of stuff. And then at the very end of the garden page, I have a whole bunch of tips and tricks for gardening for next year. So thank you very much for that. And in the handbook, that first on color printed, on page 17, I have a little garden report. And then on page 18 is a map of the garden. And online garden registration for returning gardeners opens on November 17th. And for new gardeners in the community, that will open March the 1st. And right now, currently, we have about 11 plots that are available for 2021. So thank you. Any questions, or we're good? Pardon?
Stan is here.
Oh, Stan? Stan is right here. So, thank you.
I just want to add to that too, that Susan, in this year with COVID-19, in previous years, there's the garden shed and we all share tools. And of course that couldn't happen this year. But because of Susan and Stan and Tina, their resourcefulness, they were able to put together a really wonderful group of protocol for COVID that made it possible for our garden to not only open, but as a gardener, it was like one of the best years we ever had. It was so easy, not having to fight over tools, not that we fight, we don't, but not having to kind of jockey around who's got that my watering can was just tremendous. So from a gardener point of view and just being able to get out in the sunshine, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was fantastic. Grant?
Hi, I was just wondering, I'm a social worker client in the neighborhood outside of Winter Washington. I was just wondering, I talked to a lot of people and they would love to have a spot at the garden because they don't want to do it on their balcony. So I was wondering, is there any way possible that in the future we could expand the gardens? Because a lot of people are on the waiting list, as you know, and they don't want to wait. It's like I've been waiting for a year, you know.
Actually, the board looked at it, I think it was 3 years ago, what it would take to add in another about 10 to 12 lots. And that garden construction is not inexpensive. So it'd be a matter of organizing some sort of effort to fundraise for those extra lots. CMLC has done their bit with the garden, so it's up to us now to add any additional.
We would also need to confirm any expansion with CMLC since they are the managers of the property. So.
How much would it cost to expand?
It's thousands of dollars a plot.
If I could just say something that, Ken, it was you and I that actually looked the most into that, and it exceeded 25,000.
Yeah,
And that's without any new land acquisition, that we're just reworking some of the empty pieces around the existing.
that's right. Thank you.
We will continue to look into that though, because we know there is a high demand for garden plots. So thank you.
Does that help, Grant? Okay. Okay. In addition to Susan's accolades, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank some of our hardworking volunteers. We know there's a small army of support behind us, but we want to recognize the above and beyond steps of some of these individuals, especially this year. Susan Hooper, I'm going to call you out, Susan, is an integral resident of East Village for many years. In fact, it was Susan who, as secretary of this board in 2011, helped establish and then filed the East Village Neighborhood Association with the province. Susan gives freely of her time, experiences, and skills serving in various roles on the board and within the neighborhood. It is because of Susan's willingness, her imagination, and her tenacity that our beautiful garden is the envy of the city. Susan is a historian, she's a librarian, educator, amateur magician, which I didn't know, and she uses her magic for good within our village. For all of us, Susan's participation and kindness has been invaluable. This year, maybe more than any other. All of us on the board and in the community want to extend our appreciation, Susan, for her knowledge and her willingness to share her skills. We would also like to congratulate Susan on her retirement in June of 2020. And selfishly, we would like to extend a huge thank you and a dramatic sigh of relief that Susan is willing to give us just the one more year on the garden. We promise to pay attention this year, Susan, and learn your secrets. We do know that two of Susan's secrets, as Susan stated, are Stan Ferber and Tina Ferber. Tina is not here this morning, and Stan is. We would both like to let you know that we do see you. We know of the hours of organization, the volunteers you've provided, the equipment that you have quietly fixed. We thank you so very much and are so grateful for all you do. Tina, who is not here today, we know that you are the magic that makes everything happen. You are the organized and calm bookkeeper, and you've kept our neighborhood running efficiently for years. We also know, and I can attest to this personally, that you have been more than gracious and patient throughout this 2019 and 2020 year. We are so grateful for your expertise and assistance, especially over this past year. Tina, thank you very much. I wish you were here. I'm sure she's enjoying her day though. I would now like to invite Ashley to discuss the start of 2020 and the Business of the Week event series.
Thanks, Allie. 2020 has been a very different year with COVID-19 causing the world. We also saw our East Village neighbors' strength and resiliency. Even when facing an outbreak here, not once did the sense of community spirit wane. We saw a vista of hearts through the windows of our neighbors. We stood tall, banging and cheering in support of our frontline workers, and we heard socially distanced performers echo through the village. As businesses reopened, our neighbors took the time to visit and support local. This was nothing short of heartwarming. Speaking of businesses, as a board, we were looking for ways to support our local businesses and provide something fun and interactive for our EV neighbors. We came up with Business of the Week series that ran from August 3rd to October 18th. This program provided support for local businesses and gave our East Village locals chances to win prizes. We had a total of 29 winners and showcased 11 local businesses. I'll pass it back to Ken to let you know about the revitalizing work that we've done this past summer.
In June of 2020, EVNA decided to find the silver lining in the pandemic. A committee was established to review and examine the functioning and operations of the associations for the purpose of how these could be clearly established, committed to, and communicated for the revitalization of EVNA. The team started meeting weekly on June 18th at first through video calls and then in person at local restaurants in the community. We have reaffirmed our vision, mission, and value statements, and we have a new website, yycevna.org. We established and rolled out Microsoft 365 as our in-house tool set for EVNA for managing our business affairs. We enabled a new web hosting service to provide an updated website management for our memberships and supply other functions for communicating with and supporting our members. As Ali mentioned, we engaged a financial accounting firm to provide bookkeeping service for EVNA. We also engaged a marketing and communications firm to provide EVNA with a branding structure that will be consistent across print and digital materials. Well, that was a bit. I'm extremely proud of all the work this year that has been done. We also conducted a thorough review of our bylaws, policies, and procedures, and had aimed to present them for approval at this AGM. After feedback from our EV neighbors, and I thank them for that, the team has decided to not present a new set of bylaws, but to complete further review and edits with commitment to have the new bylaws ready for our next AGM in spring 2021. From this work, however, we would like to bring forward 2 amendments to our current bylaws for a vote. Tom is going to help me get started on this special resolution, which is required to amend our bylaws. Tom.
In your packet you received, when you arrived, you can see the redlined bylaws. As Ken noted, we are not changing them entirely at this time. However, we do need to adjust 2 primary clauses and the wording that is transitions from there. One in regard to membership to align the categories with our community needs, and the other an amendment to help our board run more efficiently. You can see on the presentation on the screen a quick summary of the changes. To ensure we are in compliance with Societies Act 1, we do need to take the time to step and formally introduce a special resolution and identify the amendments for your vote. So please bear with me as I go through item by item. For the record, my name is Tom Jensen, and I move that we amend the bylaws outlined in the redlined document presented to you. Be it resolved that the East Village Neighborhood Association bylaws as follows. Section 311, page 5, be repealed and replaced with the following. 311, there are 2 categories of members in the association, being resident members and business members. Next item is section 321, also on page 5, be repealed and replaced with the following. 321, a resident membership may be obtained by an individual living within the established borders of the association. A resident membership in good standing entitles a member and their dependents to participate in any and all programs of the association if eligibility and space allow. A, access to any paid activities of the association for a discounted fee relative to persons who are not members. B, the right to participate and vote at any duly constituted general meeting, such as this. And C, the right to audit meetings of the board subject to clause 751. And D, stand for nomination or appointment as a director, provided that any such resident member must be paid, must have paid the applicable membership fee and registered with the director responsible for membership a minimum of 30 days prior to that meeting, nomination or appointment. Next article, section 3.3 on page 6. The associate members description is repealed. This term is repealed in section 3.3 and any subsequent articles. The term corporate members will be replaced with business members. This term will be replaced in section 3.4 and subsequent articles. Section 3.5.3 on page 6 regarding membership cards is repealed. Section 3.8.1, page 8, be repealed and replaced with the following. Each member shall give notice to the association in a timely manner of any change of that member's postal address. Section 5.1.1 on page 14, be repealed and replaced with the following. The board of directors shall consist of not fewer than 5 and not more than 9 voting members, and shall be elected on the basis prescribed under Article 5 by those voting members as are present at the annual general meeting. Section 6.1.2, page 15, be repealed and replaced with the following. If fewer than 9 members are elected at the annual general meeting, the board shall have the power to appoint additional voting members to the board to a maximum of 2 upon 2/3 majority of the votes cast by the directors present at a duly constituted board meeting. Section 6.4.3 on page 18, be repealed and replaced with the following. Every officer shall be a resident member of the association. That's it for the majority of the changes. Most of them were terminology changes, just so everyone's aware. We're just trying to streamline and make it more clear what we mean by a member. So we just have the 2 terms, business member with no voting rights and resident member with voting rights, just for clarity. Okay, thank you for your patience for getting through all that. May I get a second from the floor to accept these changes?
Is there any discussion?
We'll have that after the second.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, can I have a second from the floor? Shelley? Thank you. Any discussion? Yes, Susan?
Just a quick one. I'm trying to figure out where it would go, but under 3.4.1, I like how you got it worded. And in what you have with your draft bylaws, I'm just wondering to make it even more clear as to what a business membership is. I'm just wondering, I don't know what you think, is if you include, is a registered business, society, or charity, if you include that in there. Because you don't have that in there right now, but if you do include that in there, then I think it makes it a lot more clear and makes more sense as to what a business member is.
Just give me a moment.
You have that in the draft bylaws for 2021 and it's been removed.
Right.
I don't know, I'm just thinking that if you put back in a business member is a registered business, society, or charity, and I'm just thinking that if you have that in there, it might add more clarity to everyone in the community.
I appreciate that, yeah. And like you noted, we are planning to do that for the overhauled bylaws for our next AGM. Are you opposed to us keeping the current wording for these amendments in the time being?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
We can still just accept the motion, the vote on the accepted edits by Susan Hooper. I can put that into the minutes, and then we can vote on it with the amendments. Does that work?
I wash windows. I don't live in East Village anymore. I moved, so I wash windows in the neighborhood. There was an incident with some windows in the neighborhood with our businesses, and I helped resolve that problem. Did I be able, like, I don't want to be on board or anything like that, but I have a good access to the East Village community. Now, I expand and I'm going to other condo developments. And I'm just wondering, would I be able to come to your meetings and just observe? And would I be eligible to vote on certain things?
You would be, since you do business in the area, you can get a business membership.
Okay.
But business membership will not have voting rights.
Okay.
We are looking at adding more value to membership for businesses for our next AGM. So we would love to continue conversations and kind of go over what kind of relationship we can build there. So,
Thank you very much.
yeah. Yes, Ned.
I guess I understand this question in a different way. I thought you might, I might ask the question of whether or not your board meetings are open to the public and come to the chair for.
Yes. All board meetings are open to members to audit. They can sit in on them, and the chair of the meeting can invite them to speak as necessary. On our website, we do post when each of our board meetings are, or you can contact us through email and we can let you know that way. And if you would like to join and actually have something to say, we can put you on our agendas. So, absolutely.
I'd like to add to that. So all this is on a computer. What if you don't own a computer?
We will need to provide phone numbers, but yes, we will do that.
And there's been there's a newsletter and things like that, and we've been putting posters up. So if you're feeling your building's being missed or something, come talk to me and I'll see what we can do, okay?
Well, it would be nice if I knew it.
Yeah, for sure. Come talk to me. I'll definitely find a solution for you.
Okay.
What's the revised amendment? What's the revision to the motion? Just for clarity.
Susan has suggested?
Yeah.
Can you just read it back so I get it?
Nope, wrong page of notes. I can. Hold on. Is it bad that I can't necessarily read my own writing? Okay, so 3.4, what the amendment that Susan is recommending, and Susan, if I get this wrong, please don't mind correcting me. It shall now read, business membership shall be open to one representative representing one business which actively conducts business within the boundaries of the association. So we do have to define it. So, okay, thank you for that, Shelley. So then what it should be is business membership is defined as a registered business, society, or charity. Business membership shall be open to one representative representing one business which actively conducts business within the boundaries of the association, and then continues on with a business member may not vote in an election or participate in any other determination at a general meeting, and may not seek or hold office in the association, but otherwise has the rights as a resident member. Is that what you wanted there, Susan? Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
I motion to amend the bylaws with the edits proposed by Susan and the red lines. And we had Shelley seconded. So all in favor, can we have a vote count? Passed. Motion is carried.
Moving on. The next item of business is the election of directors for the ensuing 6 months or until they're. Sorry?
Apologies, Ken.
Sorry.
It's a
Am
bit
I off?
awkwardly placed, but because the bylaws were part of the revitalization committee, so we do also have to do a quick motion to accept all the community reports as
Right.
presented to you
Oh, I'm
into
sorry.
record. Yeah, no worries. I was shuffling papers around.
Thank
I think
you.
I mixed you up.
Thanks.
Okay, so we do have to do that official motion there.
Are there any questions regarding our activities over the past year and a half. Yes, your name?
I'm Lionel Chagnon. Just with those bylaws, so you said all the changes you want to make for the membership. Did you mention the one for the directors as well?
Yes, that residents, directors need to be resident members.
Yeah, and how many ones as well?
Yeah, they were in there as well, 5 to 9.
So right now you're still at 7, right? Technically?
Technically, but we just passed the motion, so yeah.
Because I have your minutes from the past year.
Yep.
And the 2 directors that are now present today haven't been on any board meeting for at least a year. So I want to know why they are still directors on the board, because your bylaw says that after 3 meetings, they should be terminated.
At the discretion of the board. So it's a
Yeah.
fair point to bring. One of the members particularly has health problems. We are not going to force a person particularly this year with health problems to step out and come to a meeting like that. That is always going to take priority. But with the wealth of knowledge that he has and the history he has in the community, we would be at a loss to lose him as a board member. And because yes, it says 3 meetings, but it does say at the discretion of the board and through a proper voting process. So we made the choice after numerous discussions to maintain those memberships and board members. So that's why.
I'd like to view the number that you need. Because normally you have to go for special general meeting to make a change, which you should have.
We still gain the value from the members, but we'll take that on record. And going forward, if we find a similar issue, we'll maybe reapproach it slightly different. I can commit to that. Yes.
I just want to congratulate people who are doing such a beautiful job and trying to get the community together, like your gatherings with the horses, your movie night. A lot of these people, especially the elderly people in Murdoch Manor, East Village Place, are sitting in their suites with nothing to do. Their family don't want to see them. Like, there's a lady that I take for a walk down to the river once in a while when I have spare time. She looks out the window and she can see the park and it's like, oh, I want to go see the horses, right? So she goes on and sees the horses, and I just want to thank you guys very much for doing something like that for the community. I think it's outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if it weren't for COVID, we would have had a lot more this year. So,
I was just wondering, are you guys still going to bring Santa Claus and stuff like that to?
We haven't had full discussions on that, and I mean, we're leading up to this, we've been really focused on what we've accomplished so far and wanting to get a breath and that under our belts before we continue on taking on more work. So that's certainly something. In fact, I'm proposing that we no longer call it summer events, we just call it a community event, so it spans all seasons, so we can have events all the time that we can actually put together.
And I do want to say, partially because of my job and partially because of this, I do listen to the press releases and statements with Dina Hinshaw every week. So we are keeping an eye on that. At this point, to plan something and then have to cancel on you guys almost feels worse, right? So we're trying to keep an eye on where we're going and what the mandatory and what the recommended things are. And at that point, if it looks like we're going to get a little bit more all clears, then we can start looking more closely at some new events again. Okay.
yes, Jerry.
Is it not true, though, that you have an ongoing working relationship, an ongoing working relationship with CMLC, and it's CMLC that in the past has put up the trees in the square, brought sounded singers in, that you would be in discussion with them about what they can continue to do on our behalf?
Yes.
And I think, if I'm remembering our meeting with CMLC, our last meeting with CMLC, they actually do have a couple of things planned for this winter. And I don't know yet if it's totally finalized, but there are a couple of items.
They do have plans, but because of COVID, and they actually have a restriction on how far in advance they can announce these things, because they don't want too many people showing up. So it's actually kind of like, we're all treading water trying to figure out this stuff. So they do have things planned, but they can't even necessarily let us know too far in advance. So we'll try and keep you in the loop as best we can. So. Are there any other questions regarding our activities? Okay. If that's everything, then I will like to have the community reports accepted as presented into the official record. I believe Allison will put that.
I will put through that motion. Will someone from the floor second that motion? Shelley.
I think Terry did.
Oh, Terry.
Oh,
Wait, Terry, it's fine.
Why are you also showing the second motion?
Okay.
Okay. All those opposed to our activities?
Or we do-
Okay. The motion's carried. Oh, wait, sorry. All those in favor, please signify by the usual manner by raising, sorry, going off script here.
Well, we do it the other way is less work.
That's true,
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Thanks, Shelley.
Okay, the motion is carried. Thank you. Ken.
Okay, my slot. Sorry, I jumped ahead. The next item of business is the election of directors for the ensuing 6 months or until their successors are elected or appointed. With the just passed bylaw amendment, the board of directors shall consist of not fewer than 5 and not more than 9 voting members, and shall be elected by those voting members as are present at the annual general meeting, this meeting. The following slate of names have been presented for election for the board for a term serving until the spring 2021 AGM. Myself, Ken Peach, Tam Jensen, Jen Machin, Allison Hay, Ashley Rode are standing for re-election. As well, we have Taya Parson.
I apologize. I just messaged Taya to ask if she can spell her last name for us. And we do also have Addie, and I apologize, I don't know how to spell her last, or pronounce her last name either.
Sutra? Addie Sutra? Is she here?
Yes, she's here.
Oh,
No.
hi, Addie.
No.
Okay.
Okay. There's also, so those 2 additional people are standing for election.
So that's a total of 7?
That's a total of 7.
Okay.
So we've met our minimum requirement.
Okay, just next.
So in a minute, I will make the 3rd and final call for nominations to the board of directors. Before doing so, I wanted to share our thoughts on why we would like you to join us. We feel that it is very important in our community that we are connected. Past experiences tell us people are more likely to participate in community activities if they feel they have social connections and a sense of belonging. I know myself personally, I live a better life when encompassed in communities such as East Village. As such, it's important that our neighborhood association help facilitate this by continuing to work to offer a variety of programs and events for all ages. EVNA always looks for people who have a passion for our East Village. By coming together and supporting one another, we can achieve great things, I believe. At this time, I would like to make the 3rd and final call for nominations to the board of directors. None being shown. As there are no further nominations for the floor, I will proceed. I would like to ask Addie to come up and introduce themselves to the community. Yep.
And then afterwards, we'll get Taya online. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Addie Superab. I just moved here a year ago. I'm originally from Saskatchewan. I went to U of C actually between the years of 2003 and 2007. Got my master's in architecture. And then I moved to New York for 10 years. I worked as an architect there. So I'm a licensed architect in New York State, Colorado, and Washington State. And then I moved to Seattle for another 2 years. And now I'm back in Calgary, living in the East Village, working for Kasian on a large hospital project actually in Halifax. So I'm really loving East Village. really enjoyed the garden this year. I was like blown away at how well organized it is and just how beautiful it is. So having come back to Calgary after 12 years, it was just amazing to see the development down here. Like, it was just so stark to me. I could see the big change. So I'm really excited to be a part of things and just to be of service and help. So I'm, I guess, wanting to be a part of the planning and development committee or position. And I think my background is well suited. So, okay.
Thank you.
See you around.
Thank you.
And here for Taya.
Taya?
Yeah, except, oh, now I can't figure out how to unmute her. Oh, there we go.
Oh, hello. Can everyone hear me? Hi, I'm Taya of Taya Panagon. I apologize that I wasn't able to attend in person today. I was feeling a little under the weather, and given the current situation, I didn't want to risk it on anyone. So I would like to be part of the EVNA Board of Directors. I've been living in East Village for 5 years now in the Evolution building. My background, I'm a municipal planner. I work for Rocky View County, just outside of the city of Calgary. And I've also, in the past few years, have been volunteering with EVNA through the events committee. So kind of what we had ran through earlier today, I was able to be involved in those events as well. And then in the past, I was an urban ambassador with CMLC, and I also was part of the Moonlight Market event as a volunteer coordinator. So I'd really like to be involved in the community, enjoy meeting all our residents. So looking forward to being a part of EVNA and to meeting everyone as well, hopefully in person at some point. So yes, thank you.
Thanks, Taya.
Thank you both. It is now time for someone to move and someone to second a motion electing those nominated to be the directors of the East Village Neighborhood Association.
We get someone to
Make the motion.
I'll make the motion. So Shelley Tepper motions of the 7 people as presented, 5 of them on the current board and 2 new ones be elected as is to represent East Village Neighborhood Association as directors.
Can we get a second?
Oh, there it is. You typed it all out. You can go with that one.
Susan, you just seconded there. Thank you. I tried to make it easy.
Susan seconded?
Yeah.
All those in favor? I'm not going to change at this point.
I think it,
Do we vote?
yes.
We do.
Yeah, we're taking a vote.
We all vote.
We have a majority. The motion is carried. I would like to mention that 2 of our directors have decided to step down this year. They have all served on the board in a variety of capacities for many years. I would like to thank Alain Dupre and Chris Greenwood for their outstanding commitment and hard work over the past years. I would like to take this opportunity to hear from our membership. Please step to one of the microphones, maintaining social distance by going one at a time.
We only have a few minutes.
If there is any mobility issues, please raise your hand and we can bring a mic closer to you.
Although we're also finding the sound carries quite well, so if you're shy, feel free to just raise your hand and talk as well. Okay, as there's no further formal business to be brought before this meeting.
Ken.
Oh, sorry.
I'll just stand up. So just so everybody knows, I want to thank Ned and Hilarious. Ned Shillington in advance, many of you well know him. So Ned is here reporting. He's our reporter today. So it will show up in the community newsletter that'll be issued in November.
Awesome.
So Ken's here taking pictures. Everybody was smiling. Ned, thank you.
Thank you.
Ned.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Continuing on then, I would like for a motion to conclude the meeting.
My name is Ashley Rohde. I move that the meeting be adjourned.
Jen here. I will second that motion.
All in favor? We got it.